Good morning, and thanks very much for joining us. Last week was a big one on Beacon Hill with the governor's annual State of the Commonwealth address and the release of his new budget plan. Lots of new spending on tap, but will the economy stay hot enough to fund all of that spending? Let's talk about that and our economic and taxation future with our guest, Eileen McAnneny, president of the Massachusetts Taxpayers Foundation, a private, nonpartisan public policy think tank. Eileen, welcome.
My pleasure, John. Nice to see you.
Always great to have you. We appreciate your visits here. So for many years, as you know, I've been covering politics around here for over 200 years. And throughout that span of time, there's always been this ongoing debate about state government spending. Is it too much or too little? How do we rein it in? How do we fund an expansion of it? Remember reform before revenue, the mantra of the Patrick years? But it looks to me, correct me if I'm wrong, like that debate is over and the big spenders won, right?
Well, I think we'll continue to have the debate for the next 200 years, too. I think that that's more philosophical than anything else. But I think you do reach a point where there is some acknowledgement that new spending in certain categories may be necessary. And I think we've reached that time, particularly with transportation.
Well, we've got the big new education bill,
Absolutely.
and I saw the governor in his speech the other night saying that funding that, and we're talking about, what's the total figure over?
So over 300 million for the first year, but when over the 7 years, it's about 1.5 when you factor in inflation, over 2 billion.
Okay, so that's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
And he was saying the other night, well, funding it is going to be the easiest part of it. What'd you make of that? I pictured you flinching when you heard that.
Well, I think financing it certainly will be a hurdle. But I think what he meant by that is, more importantly than finding the money to pay for it, is making sure that the money is well spent, right? And that it achieves what we're hoping, which is to close the achievement gaps for certain subpopulations of students. And I think he is right about that. We do want to make sure that we actually move the needle on that, and monitoring that and holding folks accountable will be critically important.
Right, these kids and their families can't wait for the help. They need it now.
They cannot.
Well, in the meantime, Mass Taxpayers Foundation is forecasting a budget gap this year of at least $880 million. Now, that's not a lot in the context of a $43 billion budget, and I believe we have close to $4 billion in the rainy day fund. But it is a little bit of a warning light on the economic dashboard, isn't it?
It is, and I think coming off of last year when the state had a surplus of over $1 billion, some people may think we're flush with cash. And that isn't the case for the reasons that you point out. We've just added additional funding for education that has to be paid for. And the governor had proposed some new spending for transportation, particularly for the operational expenses, which is a little different stance than he's taken in the past. But when you add those new spending categories and then the ongoing ones, you know, cost of living increases for state workers, growth in mass health, public safety, and a whole host of other things, it does require us to make some trade-offs in order to fund it all.
And I noted in your report the feds are tweaking their reimbursement formulas in a way that cuts back on what we get. How worrisome is that? Well,
it's very worrisome because the Mass Health Program, as we've talked about many times on this show, is the largest single spending area. It's over $16 billion, and about half of that is reimbursed by the federal government. So if we're picking up more of the tab for that, that's additional pressure on the state budget.
We've got to take a break, but real briefly, does Beacon Hill get it? Is there a sense of caution and a reasonable alarm over the situation you're describing?
Well, I think that Beacon Hill is counting on the Fair Share Amendment to
the millionaire's
tax to address that.
That's
right?
2 years away.
That is 2 years away, and it is not a certainty at this point.